Hi, Lothian.
I'm doing
Great to
good.
see you.
Good to see you too.
Um, everybody watching Spiritual Messages and Music, this is my wonderful, close, beautiful friend, Lothian. And I'd like to introduce you to him and tell you his story. So I'll introduce, Lothian is from Cameroon, and he came to London in 2011 on a student visa. Although his family had saved up all the fees for him to come, but when he got here, the college was either bogus or a fraud, and they ran off with all of the money. And Lothian was here, destitute, in a foreign land. How old were you, Lothian?
I'm 21 right now.
You're getting old now. How old were you then?
Good. I was 22 when I get to UK.
So you arrived in the UK, and a bogus college had run off with all of the life savings of your mum, and you were there in London. Could you? So what happened next?
So it all started when I was back home. I had the desire to come to UK to study because I always believed that having an education from UK will really help me to kind of like find a better job when I go back home. And that was the belief I had. And so when I got to UK, due to the sacrifice that my mom did, because I grew up just with my mom, I never knew my dad for a very long time. So my mom was the person that really took care of me and my siblings as well. So she did everything she could to like send me to UK. So one of the things that she did was she had to sell the only house that the only home that she built for me and my siblings in the case that maybe if she's not alive, then we might not be maybe suffering to find a place to live. And so she did that on the purpose that if I get a better education, I might be able to take care of my siblings as well. So when I get to UK, that was in 2011. I remember the month very well. It was in June 2020. So I was supposed to start my classes in September 2020, but unfortunately, I realized that my college was being shut down by the UK government due to some reasons that wasn't really clear to me or maybe some of the students as well. So I didn't really know if at all it was a fraud or it was just the government that just decided due to the behavior of the school. And I was so frustrated, to be honest. I felt like maybe I didn't keep the promise that I made to my mom and to my siblings as well. And things become really tough for me when I thought that maybe I came to UK to have a better life or maybe to have a better education, but it turns out the other way. So I felt really frustrated. But um, like they always say that when you living a life of hope, things always get better for you. So I remember while I was passing through those circumstances in my life. So one day I remember it was on a Sunday, so I just came from church. It was Catholic because at that time I was Catholic. So I met these two beautiful young guys with a badge on their church, and they had to stop me and they said the missionary from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The first impression that came to my mind was like, I don't need you guys because even though I went on church that same day, but I just felt like maybe God has abandoned me with the situation that I was going through. But fortunately, those missionaries were really encouraging. So they had to talk to me, and I didn't share my story that day, but so they invited me to the chapel. So that day they had a missionary fireside. So I said, okay, that's fine. So let me just go because I've got nothing to do. So I went to the chapel in Staines, and the missionary fireside was really good. I felt some release in the sense that because when I heard about um, the Restore Gospel. But I had a lot of questions on that same day because they mentioned about Joseph Smith as a prophet. To be honest, I didn't have any problem about that. I didn't have any problem with Joseph Smith being a prophet. But my main problem was about the Book of Mormon because it was so strange to me. Even the name was so strange to me in the sense that I was like, Book of Mormon. So, but I said, okay, that's fine. So I went and the missionary first time was pretty good. And I went back home. And then the missionary started coming to my place, like maybe give me missionary lessons. There were times that I accepted. There were times that I turned down the appointment, and there were times that I even accepted the appointment when they came to my door. They keep calling my phone, but I couldn't answer. I couldn't even open the door. Um, so it happens again that one day they invited me to to the Sunday service. So I came, and I was so surprised in the way that I was being welcomed in the Stay Chapel. I felt like, even though I don't have my mom, my siblings in the UK, but I just felt like I was home. I was in a family. And then um, they invited me again to Institute, where I met this amazing friend of mine, Sam. And at that time was my Institute teacher. And then I remember my first encounter with Sam that same day. I was the only person new that day in Institute. And Sam had to talk to me, ask me where I came from and my situations I had to share with him. And I feel like Sam was he was like God sent to me that same day. And the way he welcomed me, the way he talked to me, he gave me some pretty good word of encouragement that I felt like I need to continue to believe, and I know that God is always there for me, that He will help me to get through my situation. Um, so why I was taking some lessons from the missionaries. So they asked me if at all I wanted to get baptized, and I say yes, but I had a problem, and my problem was just about my family. Because even though I had that problem in the UK where my college was being shut down by the UK government, my family, especially my mom, wanted me to stay in the UK, wanted me to like maybe find ways that I can go back to school, and she wanted to do everything possible. And when I told him that, when I told her that I wanted to join a church called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it came it's like it was a disaster to her. She wasn't that really happy with me, including my younger brother, my elder brother, and my stepdad as well, who just passed away last year, and may so rest in peace. It's not like they didn't like me or they didn't love me. It's just that I just feel like they wanted the best for me, honestly. But sometimes in life, there are times in life that we have to make our own decision for ourselves. And at that time, even though circumstances were pretty hard for me, but I felt like I had this feeling telling me that Lothian, the only way you can come out from your situation is like just give your life to God. And if I can give my life to God, if I can just accept the Restore Gospel and just believe and just keep respecting the covenants that I'm going to make through my baptism, then it's going to work hard for me. It's true that my family is not happy, but I got to make my own decision. So it takes me it takes me a while for me to really decide if I didn't want to get baptized or not. I remember my first commitment to get baptized on the day of my baptism, I didn't show up. So and the reason was just because I was confused on who to accept, who to obey. Is it my family, especially my mom, or is it God? But I remember that the first time I turned off, I didn't show up for my baptism. I felt like I didn't obey God. So I felt guilty. I had to make my own decision. I made my decision to get baptized. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my brothers and sisters, my stepdad. So it was after 3 months that I got baptized. And when I started having this desire to go on a mission, that was when I had to say, no, if I need to go on a mission, I need to let my mom know that I got baptized in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the day I told her, she felt like, I remember, I can see the feeling she had, but I can feel the feeling she had was like, I felt like she wasn't that really happy with me. When she told my brothers as well, my siblings, they had the same feelings about me. But like I said, it was a decision that I made, and I was so confident that it was the best decision for me. I always said this to people, even when I went on my mission, that sometimes in life, things are not going to be okay or maybe fine, but the only way we can make things go better is to commit ourselves and believe and have faith and have hope. Despite the fact that my family wasn't that happy with me, but I was really strong on my decision. I was firm on my decision that this is the only way that I can bring happiness in my life. So I started my paperwork to go on a mission, and I remember Sam was the person really helping me to get my paperwork done. I went to Sam Page's house, and he he created an account for me, and I started my paperwork to go on a mission. And I also remember it came a time where I had to stop my process on submitting my papers to go on a mission because my family was so mad at me. I had this pressure that they don't want me to go on a mission, that if I go on a mission, because I had to explain to them what mission was all about, that I might be called anywhere, I might be called to Africa, I might be called to Europe. It depends on where the prophet asked me to go. And so when the only feeling they had was like, what if I thought I'm sent to Africa back? And so honestly, I didn't have any answer to that question. I just said, well, um, 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 I don't know, but I just feel like if I'm sent to Africa, then that's where the Lord wants me to go. And it was really hard for me, honestly. And when I decided to stop my paperwork to go on a mission, I was confused, honestly. I started having this feeling of like maybe God doesn't like me, God doesn't love me, despite my effort and like maybe I got baptized and I'm trying everything possible to be faithful. I'm trying to go on a mission to like maybe share the blessings that I have received to other people, this amazing gospel. But my family is like an obstacle to me in the sense that it doesn't want me to go just because they want me to stay in the UK and then find a job or maybe go back to school, which is a good thing for me because I can be able to take care of my family back home. But in the other hand, I just believe that there was something really better for me if I can decide on going on a mission and then just stick to the gospel. So I was praying about the situation. I was really praying, to be honest. Um, I thought maybe I can receive immediate answers to my prayers at that time because I really wanted to go on a mission, but I didn't receive any answer. But like the way they always say that God works in a mysterious way. So I received this call from my mom one day. I can't remember the day or the month, but and she told me that Lothian, that she's not angry with me anymore. That if I want to go on a mission, then that's fine. I can go on a mission. But despite the fact that she mentioned that, but during my conversation with her other days, I still feel like maybe she wasn't that happy with me, but she just said she'd go on a mission just because she just wanted to support me in a little way that she can. And so finally, I resumed my paperwork to go on a mission. Um, Finally, when my mission call came, um, um, so the first person that I called when I received my mission call, because it was on my inbox at home, and it was Sam Page that I called, because the reason why I called him was that he was someone that I felt like he's a person that has been there for me since I had this difficult time, and he's been there for me. He's been encouraging me and giving me the hope that I needed at that time. So we did open my mission call, and I was sent to Benin. And I was supposed to attend my embassy in Provo, Utah. During my process to get my visa, I went to the U.S. embassy to get my visa, but unfortunately, it didn't work out well for me. So my mission call was changed. And when my mission call was changed, I remember my state president at that time, President John, called me in his office in Staines and said, Lothian, that the Lord has called me in another country, and that was Cote d'Ivoire. Honestly, I wasn't that happy at that time, because when I received my mission call, I was just so excited and going to Benin. I had to do some research about Benin, even though I'm from Africa, but I didn't know some of those African countries pretty well. So I had to do some research. I had to do some research. I had to do some research. And so,
Lothian, I've got my journal article where that happened, where you got your mission call, and I wrote, Wednesday last week I got a phone call in the evening from Lothian. He had with him the envelope containing his mission call. He asked if I would go over to be with him as he opened it. I rushed over to his box room in Hounslow. We sat on the bed, prayed, and excitedly opened the letter. He read every word and number from the top of the page. He got to the mission call to Benin, Catanau mission. We were so excited. It felt incredible. I felt so privileged to be there as his friend, like family, sharing in his special moment. It was like being family.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah. So this how it happens when I receive a mission call, and I was so excited to go on a mission, honestly, and I want to say um, it was a blessing for me to join the church. It was really a blessing for me, because when I see my life right now and imagine my life back in 2011 and 2012 before I went on my mission, I feel like maybe the Lord has blessed me a lot, honestly. So finally, the day I was going on my mission, or before I went on my mission, it wasn't that easy as well, because when I got my mission card changed and I was sent to Cote d'Ivoire, so I started everything that I need to get myself prepared. My passport was expired, so I had to renew my passport. So it took me like 3 months to get a new passport. And then when I finally got my passport, I had to apply for my visa from Ghana so that I can attend embassy, and then my visa to the Ivory Coast so that I can travel to the Ivory Coast without any problem. So within that time, it was like maybe a month before I would leave for my mission. And I didn't have a place to stay as well, because I already informed my landlady at that time that I will be leaving that was during when my visa to the US was denied. And so my bishop, which is an amazing man as well at that time, Bishop Knight, make an announcement at the pulpit and say, hey, does anyone want to take Lothian to stay with him for like a month? And I remember after sacrament meeting, so everyone was just coming to me, yeah, Lothian, you can come stay with me. You can come stay with me. So I was confused. And finally, it was Brother Garcia that took me in. And I was so happy for him to take me in. And I had some really wonderful time, and he was so supportive as well. And he gave me everything that I need to go on my mission. He bought me clothes, he bought me trousers and shirts and all the support that I received from the world as well. So it was good. And finally, when I went on my mission, before I went as well, I had a little problem again with my mom that I didn't share with anyone. And it was not just my mom, it was my mom and my siblings as well. That it was just the same situation that they wasn't happy with me. So my decision before I left UK to went to Ghana for my MTC, I made a decision that I wouldn't let any of them know that I'm living in UK because the reason was just that I didn't want to go on a mission with a negative mind, saying that maybe I have a crush mind with my mom, or maybe I have this quarreling with my mom or my siblings. So it was just my personal decision, and I did pray about it, and that's what I felt that maybe I should just go and don't say anything. So I just I sent an email to my mom that mom, okay, I will be leaving UK to Ghana for my MTC, and then from Ghana I will be going to Cote d'Ivoire to stay for 2 years. I won't be communicating with you guys. It would just be 4 times for those 2 years, and it will be, excuse me, on Mother's Day and Christmas. That was what I told my mom on my email. But when I went on my mission, I didn't do that. I remember my first Christmas, I didn't call my mom just for personal reasons as well, because when I was on my mission, I was so excited. I wanted to save the Lord. I wanted to do everything. I don't want someone or maybe my family to kind of like make me feel bad while I'm on mission. So on Christmas Day, I didn't call. Then my first Mother Day, I didn't call as well. So, and it's not like I wasn't feeling bad as well that I wasn't doing that. I was because I just felt like maybe I need to talk to my mom, but at the same time, I just have this feeling that no, I just need to stay focused on my mission because what if I thought I call my mom and then she starts saying things that I don't like or maybe things that might agitate me and make me feel like I'm not really maybe feeling comfortable to go proselyting this day or maybe within the week. So those were just my reason why I didn't call my mom. And honestly, my mission has really changed me when I was saving the Lords in Cote d'Ivoire. I met families that had similar situation like the one I encountered in the UK. Families that had problems with their husband and wife, and children and father, and children and mom. And I was asking myself, like, how can I resolve this problem with my companion? And as a missionary, we have that authority and that spirit to guide us in the way we can help people to know that God loves them and that God is always there for them. And I was always using my story, honestly, to always let them know that God is the God that can bring change, that can create miracles in our life. Because when I look at my own situation and finally I went on my mission, I just feel like it's a great story for me to share to those people in the Ivory Coast so that they can feel it all depends on them. I'm not sharing just because for them to join the church, but I'm just sharing that they should know that God loves them. And that the way God loves me is the way God loves them as well. If only they give him chance for them, for him to show his love for them. So I also, while I was on my mission, and I was called as an assistant to the mission president. Um, it was it was a wonderful experience for me because at that time I was just 9 months on my mission. My French wasn't that really good. We had amazing missionaries that can speak pretty good French, but I don't know why the missionary, the mission president didn't call them as a assistant, but I was chosen to be as an assistant. I'm not just an assistant, but the first assistant to the mission president. So I just feel like this is another opportunity for me to learn something. So it helps me to really improve my French. and it helps me to really learn more about the gospel because as an assistant, you have so many opportunities to teach your fellow missionaries and what they need to do and how they need to teach their investigators and how to plan and doing all those stuff. So that really helps me a lot, even though my French wasn't that good. But whenever I speak, I always feel like people can understand my message. People can feel the spirit that what I'm trying to say is what is right. And that's the most important part for me because even though my French wasn't that good, I remember we had a zone meeting one time. My mission president and I, with my companion, we had to travel to go to a new zone. But when we arrived, just before that week, it was Mother's Day. That was the second Mother's Day. So I didn't call my mom as well. And so while I was preparing my lesson um, for my zone conference that morning with my companion, so I received a call from my mission president very early in the morning, and he said, Eda Epoge, did you call your mom on Mother's Day? And so I paused for a second. I knew the answer, but I didn't answer immediately. And he repeated, Edepoge, I'm talking to you. Did you call your mom on Mother's Day? And I said, no, President. And he asked me why. And he said he doesn't want to go to the details. So he's giving me permission to call my mom. That my mom contacted the missionaries in Cameroon, which is in Douala. When he contacted us, so he started hitting at them and saying that you guys have taken my child. I can't find my child. He can't communicate with me. So those missionaries were scared. So they had to contact the mission president, which was, the couple missionary, which was in Cameroon. So the couple missionary had to contact the mission president in Congo. And then the mission president had to contact my mission president. So that's how my mission president contacted me as well and say, okay, and your mom promised that if I talk to her, she might join the church. And so my mission president, after my zone conference, he gave me permission to call my mom. I didn't call my mom immediately. I was just thinking and asking myself, what if I try to call my mom and things happened all the way? And so I had to pray about it as well. And I felt like the Lord said, okay, no, it is time for me to talk to my mom. When I talked to my mom was so happy and she started crying on the phone. And she said, right now, she's giving me all the support that I need to serve my mission. And honestly, that same moment, I was speechless. I felt like the Lord is, I don't know what to say, but I just felt like the Lord was really there for me. The Lord wanted me to learn something within the time that I left from UK to go on my mission and until the time that I had to talk to my mom. So it was a wonderful experience for me. Um, I felt that was the first time I can really feel the love of my mom. I know she loves me so much, but that day the love that I felt was so special for me. And so I told my mom that thank you so much, and I promised that the next Christmas I'll call you, and that's what I did. And finally, when I was like 2 to 3 months before my mission would get finished, that was the most difficult time for me as well because I was like thinking, okay, soon I'll be finishing my mission, and what next? Am I going to go back to UK, which I knew is impossible because my visa was already expired. So the only solution was for me to go back to Cameroon. And that was something that started with my family why they didn't want me to join the church. They didn't want me to go on a mission. So it was really difficult for me. So I had to talk to my mission president about my situation because he didn't know about it. And so my mission president said, okay, he will see what he can do. Maybe he will contact the mission center in Accra, Ghana. And so they asked me if at all I got any like maybe papers when I was in the UK, or it was just my visa. Because if I had a paper, if I had document that shows that I can live in UK, then that would be possible for me to travel back to do everything to get my flight ticket so that I can travel back to the UK. But I didn't have anything, so I just told them that it was just my visa, and my visa was expired. And I remember they say okay, so they'll get back to me as soon as possible. I remember I received an email coming from Ghana saying that Eda Epos, we are deeply sorry that we can do everything possible for you to go back to the UK. You finally go to your home country, Cameroon. Um, it was a tough moment for me. I didn't feel happy that day. I started crying and asking myself, what am I going to do when I go back home? I don't have any good education. There's no way for me to get a job. So my mom, I don't know if at all, even though I've been talking to her, but I don't know if at all she will accept me to come and stay in the house. So, but I was still praying, and there was this spirit just telling me that, Lothian, don't worry, things gonna be okay. Even though right now I can feel like there's no way for me, but just believe and just keep focusing on your mission, and things gonna be okay for me. So I also finally my mission ended, and I went back home. My mom, I never believed my mom would be at the airport. Even my younger brother, who was so mad at me, and so all of them were at the airport. And I arrived, and they welcomed me. They took me home, and my mom, I remember the very moment I got home, my mom sat with me, and she told me that, Lothian, that I shouldn't even think about the house that she sold to send me to the UK. That the fact that I'm alive now, that is what is really important for her. That I shouldn't think about that. I was guilty personally. I was guilty in the sense that my mom did all that for me, but um, I didn't find any positive result. Positive result in the sense that I was looking in the temporary way of things. So I didn't look at the spiritual way of things. So that was my reason why I felt guilty. And when she told me that, I just felt like, wow, this is great. This is amazing. So, and then finally, 2 days after the 2 days when I would be released, so I invited my mom. I thought maybe she wouldn't come, and she was there. She was there in the chapel, and she listened to my testimony. And I told her about Cynthia, that there's this lady that she's on a mission. And so finally, probably if things works so well, maybe if she finished, we might be maybe dating. And she was asking me, how am I going to date her? That if she finished her mission, she'll go back to France and stuff like that. And I say yes and no, it's a difficult thing, but I'm just waiting that she finished it and we can figure out things together. And she say,
Okay,
okay.
just tell us about Cynthia. Um, Tell us about Cynthia.
So Cynthia, when I remember on my mission, so my second area, no, my third area, sorry, where I was saving. So there was a transfer. So when I moved from my third area, I was sent to another area. So Cynthia was the one that replaced me in that area. She just came from the MTC straight away, and she was sent to that area. Um, so in the apartment that Cynthia was, I was the chef, I was the district leader in that apartment. So when she got there, it's like the system missionary started saying so many good things about me to Cynthia that, oh, that this leader is so amazing. He's a very good elder. He's so supportive. The way he teaches, it gives us this it helps us like maybe just know that we're really serving the Lord. And so Cynthia, listening to others, she was so desired to know who this missionary was. And so we had a zone conference one day where we had three zones meeting together to have a zone conference. So that was the first that I met Cynthia. So we had to share our LDS email so that we can maybe write to one another on Mondays and P days. And that's how we started then. And finally, when she finished and she went back to Paris, we started communicating. So say, okay, can you come to Mali? And she didn't refuse. She came to Mali. She spent like maybe 2 weeks. So I was living where I was working in Mali. It was in a chicken farm. So I was living in a chicken farm, and then I had this wonderful friend of mine called Anunu. Anunu works in an ONG in Mali called Utah Alliance.
Lothian, just 1 second. So, just so we've got the gap. So,
Mhm.
it was after your mission, you went back home to Cameroon. But how long were you with your family before you went to Mali?
It was 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, home from your mission for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then you got a job in Mali at
Hmm.
the firm of the father of the missionary who baptized you,
Yeah, the focusing. Yeah.
the Focusons.
Hmm.
Um, so you're in Mali, working in a chicken factory.
Yeah.
Go on, keep.
Okay.
This is
So
amazing.
So when Cynthia came in Mali, and so I had, because this friend of mine is a Nunu, is like a father to me as well. And then he's got he's got children that lives in Utah, and two of them are members of the church as well. So I spoke to him that is it possible for Cynthia to stay in this place, and he said, yeah, that's fine. So Cynthia was living there, and I was just when I finished work at the chicken farm, I went there just to say hello, and then came back to the chicken farm. And then I decided to say, okay, it's time for me to engage Cynthia. She didn't know about it, so we went to this hotel called Radisson in Mali, and so that's where I got Cynthia engaged, and we decided to get married. But before she came to Mali, we started talking about marriage, and Cynthia would say, well, she wanted to get married to someone like me, and so say, okay, that's fine. So we had a great discussion about a subject like that, and then finally, she decided to come to Mali to see me. When she came, I was so happy and I was so excited. I just felt like the Lord has been so great to me. And when she went back home, and I called my mom and say, finally, Cynthia and I, we are engaged. And I remember Cynthia came again to Mali the second time. When she came the second time, we had to plan our first marriage planning. So we decided to go married. We said, okay, maybe I might come to Paris so that we can get married. And I remember trying to get my visa. You were the one helping me to get my visa. You sent me an invitation to come to probably to UK with the purpose that maybe if I come to UK, then with my visa I can visit Paris. Then maybe just for a visit.
Yeah.
And then that will give me the opportunity to maybe when I return back to Mali, I might not apply for a visa that will to Paris in the sense that maybe I came to UK, came to Paris, then left, went back to Mali. But unfortunately, my visa was denied to come to the UK, so it wasn't that really good for me as well.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, we need to get married to Congo. And so my mom and my elder brother came to Congo, and um, I would say Sintra is such a great blessing for me, to be honest. And
But to be clear on how long this took,
mhm.
because this all happened over, was it another full 2 years after
um,
your
so
mission?
so Cynthia and I got engaged in that was in September 2016.
Yeah.
Um,
And
no,
you
September
finished your
20.
mission in 2015.
Yeah, September 2015. Sorry. And then we were supposed to get married in February 2016. But due to my visa problem, so it didn't work out. So we had to push it to July 2016. So that was in July 2016 in Congo that Cynthia and I got married. when we got married, it was such a great blessing for me, and I felt like it was a great idea for us to go to Congo to get married because Cynthia's dad was in Congo, and you know, as an African, it's always a good thing to have both parents always there for your wedding so that you can receive all the blessings that they wanted to give you. So I've never met Cynthia mom. I've never met her dad. So when I went to Congo, and the way they welcomed me was so amazing. And I just want to use this opportunity to say, my wife today called Cynthia. It's a wonderful blessing for me. I just feel like Cynthia was a God sent to me because I remember when my mission changed, when my mission call was changed, and that impression that I had that day when President John told me my face wasn't that really good. But I didn't know that God had something really great for me. I just feel like I went on a mission. It's true that I went on a mission to save the Lord, sharing the gospel to the people of Ivory Coast, but there was one purpose, one big reason why I went to the mission. It was to make the life of my life with Cynthia. Um, I just feel like today, Cynthia is such a great blessing for me, and she has been so supportive to me despite my circumstance. I thought maybe when I told her my story, she might say, okay, no, I don't want to get married to this guy. Maybe she won't love me, and maybe she just want to get married to me, maybe to get papers and come to Europe and stuff like that. But she didn't have all those ideas. I thought maybe that was what she might be thinking. And when always I say, okay, when sometimes even when my visa got denied to come to the UK, and she told me that I should worry, that even if I thought to go to Cameroon for us to get married, she's ready, or to go to Congo, she's always ready that we can get married, wherever the Lord wants us to get married. And
But
today,
even after you got married in Congo, you were still working in Mali, and Cynthia had to go back to Paris.
yeah,
So,
so
and it was another year, wasn't it, where you were married but you were apart.
yeah,
So tell us what happened next. You're married, and but you're apart. After getting married in Congo, you go back to Mali. Cynthia
mhm.
goes back to Paris. So what happens next?
Yeah, exactly. So after our wedding, both of us came to Mali. Cynthia was in Mali for a month.
Hmm.
And so that was because we got married in July, 9th of July, 2016. We left Congo on the 12th of July, 2016. We came to Mali. And then Cynthia, I believe she was there for a month, July. So she left Mali probably August, 12th of August. And when she left, we were just communicating on Skype, talking. It's like there was no single day that Cynthia and I was not talking on phone, or either on Skype or on phone. So it was a difficult situation. It was a difficult thing for us to get married, and just after a month, we just communicating on phone. So honestly, I won't lie, it was difficult for me, and I believe it was difficult for Cynthia as well. But we just keep encouraging one another. Just say, well, we just believe things gonna be okay. And unfortunately, just a month after Cynthia left, I went back to Paris on the 1st of September. And that was just like 2 months after we got married. I had an accident, which kind of like take my mind back to my circumstances in the UK, where my college was shut down. And I started asking myself again, but why is all this happening to me? And then the worst thing was that when I went to the hospitals in Mali, so they treated my fingers so badly to the extent that it started getting infected. And so I was forced to flew to Ghana for a treatment, for a surgery, hoping that maybe when I got to Ghana, maybe they might help me to get my fingers back. And I
Yeah,
remember,
just explain what this accident. This accident was at the chicken farm. So this is 2 months after Cynthia has gone back.
Yeah. No,
Two
it was
months
just
after.
it was 1 month after Cynthia got back because
Ah,
it was 2 months. It wasn't 2 months after we got married. It was like maybe a month and maybe 2 weeks or something.
and but it was at the chicken farm,
Yeah.
and your fingers got caught in the chicken mincer, what turns the chicken into
Yeah.
pulp.
Yeah. Well, so
And your friends had, so your fingers were stuck in there, and your friends had to dismantle the
absolutely
the machine to get your hand out.
correct. Yeah. So that's exactly what happened. And so they had to do like reverse them to get my finger back, and it was so painful, so painful. And so they took me to the hospital.
Show us your hand.
Yeah, so
There it is.
yeah,
Oh dear. But not to get too gruesome, but that got you out of the chicken farm, didn't it?
yeah, it got me out of the chicken farm. So my mom wanted me to leave, and my wife as well, Cynthia, said, okay, maybe it's time for me to leave, and then we can figure out how I can come to Paris. And so finally, but when I got my finger, when I got the accident, so the Falcons, they were so supportive as well. So they had to pay for the surgery, my flight to Ghana, my stay in Ghana, and so honestly, they were so supportive for me, giving me all the encouragement I need at that time. Um, so I finally left the chicken farm, left Mali, went to Cameroon. While in Cameroon as well, so I had to apply for a visa twice and to Paris, and it was denied as well. So I was like, I just keep asking again the same question, like, what is happening to me? So I just thought maybe I didn't serve my mission for the world. Maybe there is something that I've done that the Lord is not really happy with me. And the reason is just because I can't really figure out why all this is happening to me. But at the same time, there's this feeling just keep telling me, Lothian, I know it's not easy, but you just had to be patient, just keep pushing forward, just keep living the gospel. And I remember at that time when I was in Cameroon, I said, okay, maybe I don't want to go to church anymore. I just want to just live my life the way I want to live because I'm doing everything possible to try to make sure I'm pleasing God, but things keep getting worse for me. I got married, my finger got shot, had an accident. Now I'm not having my full fingers. And I'm trying to get a visa to go meet my wife, but things are not working well for me. So Cynthia came to Cameroon in February 2017. And so because I left Mali on November 2016, and then Cynthia came to Cameroon in February 2017. But before she came out trying to get a visa, it was denied. And then I would just keep praying. And then finally, I say, okay, let me try Italy. So I try Italy, and finally, the miracle happened. So I got my visa to travel to Italy. So that's how I came to Paris. And since I'm now been living now so happily, and we are so blessed. And um, we have our twins now, Jacob and Sophia, which I just feel like it's one of the greatest blessings I've ever received in my life. And I just know there's still more to come. If only I just keep believing and keeping the covenants that I've made with my Father in heaven.
Going right back to being in Staines in London, I remember when you would be with my family in my home, and
And
you would think how much you would love to have that for yourself, that family,
exactly,
and and but you couldn't see a way. Like, how is that going to be possible?
exactly. And to be honest as well, I would like to say this that if I didn't join the church, if I didn't become a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I don't think or maybe believe that I would have been happy the way I am right now. because I thought maybe I would have even got married at this time, at this age that I am right now. But due to the gospel, due to my decision that I made, even though it was a tough decision for me due to my family and my loved ones, but my decision gave some really good fruit in the sense that I was able to change, not me changing, but I was able to share my testimony to the people of Ivory Coast. I was able to help people to know that God loves them in the Ivory Coast. And then one other thing that I didn't mention was that when I was in Mali, I just felt like it was a great opportunity for me as well to start sharing the gospel to the people of Mali. And today, just my little talking to people about the restored gospel in Mali has created today. There is a branch in Mali and today in Bamako, and the group that I started in the chicken farm is continuing today. So I just feel like it's a great blessing for me that the Lord is using me not just to bless my own life, but to bless the life of other people's as well. And so um,
And all of this, well, started for me. Obviously, it started for you before you met me, but this journey from, started from when you walked into those doors at Staines Chapel, and
mhm,
and you described that you feel like it's family, and that we
mhm,
are family, and that that there's this love, and
yeah,
everything that has come on, that has happened since then, is because of that that Staines family that you walked into, and that saw you for
absolutely,
saw you for who you were, loved you, took you in. You know, we were just together through your trials. We were brothers, and
yeah.
and 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 all of the family that were in Staines, we were there for you. Um, I think if there's a message to go out, is that when we treat each other like family, then we can help people. We can, and it gives people a way through their trials.
Yeah, and it also gave people's hopes because if I didn't feel that love that I had in the Stains world, I don't think I would have been really an active member in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints today. I would have maybe just say, okay, it's fine. Let me just give up. I don't want to go to church anymore. But even though I got baptized, but I don't want to go to that church anymore. But just because of that love, it gave me the feeling that no, this is the best place for me. This is where I need to be. Because of that love, I was able to make my decision to go on a mission. And because of that love and the way I wanted to have my own family, the way I was seeing other families in my stains in the stains world, like maybe being together as a family with their own kids, husband and wife. I just feel like this is what I want as well for my own family. And I always tell my wife Cynthia that, and she always, whenever I say this, she always laugh. And I say, if I didn't feel that love that I had in Sustain's world, maybe you wouldn't know me, maybe you wouldn't be my wife today. But because of that love, it was able to heal the fruit that Cynthia and I today got married, and we were able to meet and start a family. And it's such a huge blessing for me.
Well, you're a blessing to me, Lothian. Uh, just just knowing you, yeah, meeting you, uh, being part of your journey, just a little
Mhm.
part of it. Uh, that has just been a blessing to my life. Uh, I will always cherish.
Me too.
Um, it's just amazing to me how such great things can come from small little things, like after an institute lesson, and then
Mhm.
just driving you home and stopping at McDonald's and
Yeah.
having your first Big Mac. I just,
Yeah.
that is, it's such a little thing, but
And that
it
was
just,
my first, sorry.
yeah. Oh,
That was my first McDonald's that I had. I know I've been eating at KFC, but I've never had a McDonald's. So you took me to McDonald's that first time.
Yeah.
was a wonderful experience for me. I will never forget.
Well, I'm sure the Golden Arches are pleased with your endorsement, but yeah, it's these little things that just have they're
Hmm.
just part of a pathway, and
Absolutely.
somehow the Savior seems to know the end from the beginning, but we don't see it. We just have to have faith and hope,
Yeah.
um, and He will guide us. Yeah,
Yeah, and not just faith and hope, but also you need to we also need to be faithful in just because faith is um, faith without action it doesn't work. So if we have the faith that things gonna be okay, things gonna be fine, then we need to also put things in action as well. And one of the things that I believe um, can help us is like maybe just whatever circumstance, whatever the situation is. I know is it's not easy to say this, but I just believe that whatever circumstances that we're facing through in life, if we have faith and believe and just keep living the gospel of Jesus Christ and keeping the covenants that we've made with Him and His Son Jesus Christ, I am so certain that God is going to bless us. It will take time, and whatever time it takes is the best time because He knows the beginning and the end, just like the way you just said. And that's what happened to me. I never knew since when I was in UK or when I left Cameroon, that was 2011. And today is almost 10 years. And as I just said yesterday, when you and I was chatting, that was yesterday that I finally got something that I can be proud of, that I can be able to start working, start taking care of my family. But it took me 11 years, or maybe, sorry, it took me almost 10 years to get just that little piece of paper. But
yeah. So that's your visa, isn't it? That's your work permit that you got
yeah,
yesterday.
and the very first day that I got that stuff yesterday, I just felt like God is so wonderful. God is so great, and this is another opportunity for me that He has given me, and I need to be able to continue to worship Him and continue to believe in Him and keep the covenants that I've made with Him. And I am so grateful, so blessed to be a member of the church and to know that God loves me and He loves my family and He loves my wife and He loves my children, Sophie and Jacob, that I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud to be their father. And I just keep praying for them every day that the Lord is going to bless them to have a better life, which is a life more than the life that I had. And that is my wish for my own children as well. Um, I don't know, but that's the way I just feel like the Lord has been so blessed. Uh, the Lord has so blessed me.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Wow, what a journey.